Hi there, welcome back to Chapter 7 of Running with the Sun. This is a problem that our research might help us solve directly, Dad said. Unlike the pesticide issue, solutions to that might be hard to find and take even longer to put into action. It's good to have some short-term goals that we can meet. Doable, Sam exclaimed. We need projects that are doable. And it is so important for new buildings to be using renewable energy if we're going to change things for the better, Dad added. Let's take a couple of those flyers, I said, beginning to catch their excitement. We'll show them to our crew on Sunday at Pickles and Pies. It'll be fun to see what everybody comes up with. Hey, Sam said, pies versus pickles. It will be sweet versus sour solutions. Sweet rules. He was bouncing up and down, doing tiny jazz hands too close to my face. Wrong, I snapped, ready with a quick answer for once, because my group is going to be sweet and sour. No contest. That's a great idea, kids, Dad said. You know, people used to get together to help each other do big things. They might build a new barn at a barn raising. When they made a lot of blankets together, they called it a quilting bee. Yep, that's my dad, the history teacher. Adding a brainstorming session to these neighborhood cooking events is brilliant, he beamed. Quilting bee, huh? So, what do we call it, Sam asked, when we cook up some good ideas about making energy from the sun? Cooking bee doesn't sound so good. Skies and pies, I answered. Pickles and PVs? It's going to be an idea feast, Sam declared. Mr. Valdez had been watching us, trying not to laugh. I'm so glad you want to get involved, he said, rustling through the pile of papers on his desk. Here's something else you might like. He held up a flyer that said, Explore City Sprouts. There were photos of kids picking melons and tomatoes, but even more surprising, there were kids holding rabbits and petting goats and feeding ducks. Urban ducks, Dad gasped. Remember how I said he'd been reading about that? Shay Devine, who runs City Sprouts, has been doing great work with renewable energy, as well as growing a lot of food, Mr. Valdez said. Shay Devine, Dad repeated. That name sounds familiar. She's had a big impact on the community as an urban farming educator. City Sprouts is a great model with something for everyone. But as an African American woman, Shay's especially interested in connecting with young people of color and having them do food gardening. Fantastic, Dad said. Where is it? Close to the city center, Mr. Valdez answered, over in the Peering Meadows neighborhood. Do the Franklins know about all those farm animals downtown? I wondered out loud. That sounds like the perfect field trip, Dad declared, almost louder than library voice. Sam had rolled up the library flyers into a tube. He held it to his eye like a telescope. Arr, he said in a pirate whisper. Goats, rabbits, and ducks off the starboard bow.